Hi, everybody. In this series of videos, we are exposing some misunderstanding or ignorances that hamper the progress of the kemetic movement. Our aim is to help the African build a correct perception of African traditional religion according to its higher articulation as an exact science. Today, we will deal with the ignorance of the divine human divide of the practice of African traditional spirituality.
Welcome to the channel Zilalowa of Dr. Yaluka. To begin, please subscribe and tick the notification bell in order not to miss our videos. Thank you for joining.
A Kongo proverb says, lukàmba ko muayendila bambuta. In other words, wisdom requires of us to never forget the good path followed by the elders or by the ancestors. To the traditional Kemite, that is, the followers of the movement has started from the year 1970s, do they clearly discern the spiritual path laid by our ancestors to follow it as we neo-kemites do? We intend to stress the negative answer to bring new lights. In the domain of spirituality, the great wisdom of our ancestors consisted in realizing that the spiritual demands cannot be implemented by the people at the same level. Thus, they divided the practice of African traditional religion into the divine praxis and the human one. The divine practice they based on the progressive purification of thoughts. These imply the existence of commandments of God and the existence of the notion of sin. As for the human practice, it was erected on the observance of rituals and ethical contextual norms. The ancestors set the divine practice as the foundation of the Black civilization, the source of the power to be used in the human, the moral torch bearer, and inspiratory strength of the society. The role of the divine practice was played at the general level by ancient Egypt, Kemet. This explains why the divine mystery was called in Kemet the Great Mystery, and the human one, which included the civil and the martial, were named Little Mystery. Based essentially on the progressive purification of thoughts, the practice of the Great Mystery evolves around four axes. First, to regain one's lost status as a child of God and Nazareth. This loss was the result of one's own original and subsequent bad use of the God-given free will. Second, to heal the sick through the higher spiritual means, the purification of thoughts. Three, to develop a divine power, that is, the succor of the spirits of water, Bakulu Bamaza, and to perpetuate this power through mere faith, as the succor of the spirits of nature or of forest, Bakulu Banseke. At last, to fight witchcraft in society solely through the power of divine law. It is important to stress here that the divine power can be used only for good purposes, while the human can be used for good or for evil purpose. The big failure of traditional Kemites is to not discern the difference made by the ancients between the divine practice, that is, practice of the great mystery, and the human practice, which is the practice of the majority of the people, the practice of the little mystery. The reason for this failure are the following. Firstly, the divine practice was kept sacred by the ancient Egyptians, as could never be taught to foreigners, that is, to Greeks. Second, due to this policy and to the ancestors' knowledge of the now pending future domination of Africa by the Westerners, the divine mystery was hidden among the Bantu people, especially the Kongo. Thus, aside from the Egyptian Book of the Dead and Book Kongo, the Kongo religion, the divine practice of African traditional spirituality is seldom seen. We have seen in the previous video that according to us neo-kemites, and thanks to our use of the kemetic cosmological argument, there is a perfect demonstrable congruence between the religions of ancient Egypt, Sumer, and Kongo. Since the kemetic cosmological argument is a deductive, coherent truth, set of truths, it is an exact science. This is the very science Egyptians were hiding from the Greeks, and that is continued today in Book Kongo, as taught by our academy, Zilalowa. Thus, in its higher articulation, the divine mystery, African traditional religion is an exact science. What is widely observed in the continent and in the diaspora is the human practice of African traditional religion. It implies the use within the frame of the intercession of illuminated ancestors, the use of the power of the spirits of nature in order to organize, elevate, and protect the community. Being of human nature and contrary to the highest requirements of the divine mystery, the spiritual demands at the level of the little mystery are ethical, deontological, and contextual. Hence, the absence of the notion of the commandments of God. In conclusion, we learn from the obvious difference existing between the divine practice and the human one that by ignoring the divine praxis, the traditional Kemite lower the spiritual norm of African traditional religion. They replace mere dogmatic religious beliefs of the West by their new mere dogmatic beliefs, and they undermine the epistemic superiority of African traditional religion as an exact science. This superiority that made the greatness of Africa of yesterday time. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share. More on this subject can be found on my books available at Amazon.